Sorry about that. I hit the button. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to turn the camera around and I ended up stop recording. So Emerson says here, he gets more specific here. He says, the virtue in most request is conformity. Self-reliance is its aversion. It loves not realities and creators, but names and customs. So he says, he's talking about society. And in society, people give up freedom. They give up liberty. Why? For security, for securing of his bread to each shareholder. So he says, in society, people give up freedom so that they can, people give up freedom so they can have security. And he says, what does that look like? He says, the virtue in most request is conformity. Conformity is when you do what you act like other people. This is a big thing. That word conformity is a really important point here. Conformity is when you see, you hear the form in conformity. It's the same form in uniform. It means being the same as other people. So he says, in order to make society run easier, people give up their freedom. They stop being weird and they start being like each other. And I'm sure you guys have seen, like, there's groups of people and they all seem like they dress alike, like Wall Street stockbrokers, right? That's a classic example. That's down by BMCC's neighborhood back when we had physical school. But like these guys, they go to work on Wall Street. If you go to work on Wall Street, right, you can make a lot of money. A lot of money to be made on Wall Street, banks and that kind of thing. But one of the things you'll notice is in exchange for the power, the security of making a lot of money, they conform. They all look like each other. They dress the same. They all wear khaki slacks. They wear like light blue button-up shirts. They have white collar, white cuffs. It's almost like a uniform. Like they all dress the same. They have the same haircut. If you've ever seen American Psycho, there's a really good joke about this in American Psycho. Maybe I'll put it on the playlist here, where all the guys are so similar. But when you see these people, it's like they all decided to get the same haircut and wear the same outfit and talk the same way and think the same thoughts. Why? Because being like that helps them get ahead at the company. And that means more money, more power, more security. But what did they give up? They gave up what's in here. They're not doing what they want to do. They want security. And so they just act like other people and they lose, what do they lose? Self-reliance. Right? They're not relying on themselves. They're relying on other people. They're going to copy other people and go into sort of the business world. And they all wear a tie, the same kind of ties. And if somebody wore a crazy tie to one of those jobs or wore a weird outfit, everybody would make fun of that person until they'd get in trouble until they dressed appropriately. And I'm sure you guys have had jobs where people say you have to dress appropriately. What they're telling you to do is dress like everybody else. And why? People do dress like everybody else at work because they want to make money. But Emerson thinks that money, that security, it's not a good trade when you have to give up your own weirdness because you're not following yourself anymore. Now you're following other people. Again, this stuff always sounds good in the abstract, but individual examples. Is it the cannibal serial killer doing this, or is it the musician? Really, right? It'll really change how you think about it when you have those two examples. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so he says society, right? The virtue most in request is conformity, right? People want you to conform. Self-reliance is its aversion. It's like its opposite. So conformity and self-reliance. Self-reliance is when you do what you want to do. Conformity is when you match other people and be like them. These two things, Emerson says, self-reliance is its aversion, meaning it's its opposite. Conformity and self-reliance are opposite. If you're reliant on yourself, you're going your own way. If you're conforming, you're doing what other people want you to do. He says the world loves not realities and creators, but names and customs, right? Society doesn't care about what's real. They don't care about people who create new shit. What society really cares about is names and customs. Customs, names meaning famous names, people who are already famous, and labels. When I think names here, it really means labels. Like people label, they put you in a little box. They go, oh, you're this kind of person. Oh, you're that kind of person. And customs is like habits, what you do every day over and over again. Customs and conformity are very closely related, right? Conformity is when you look and act and think like other people. And customs are like habits that you repeat again and again and again and again and again. So he says society, self-reliance is the opposite of conformity. But what they want you to do is they want you to give up self-reliance so that you can conform, be like other people. And if you're like other people, your life will be easier and you'll get security. You'll get security, but you'll lose yourself. You'll lose your self-reliance because society doesn't give a shit about reality and it doesn't care about people who are going to create something new. It just cares about customs and labels. And labels that make it easier. You go, oh, this person's the same as another person. They're the same type of person. And they treat you not like an individual, but a label lets them treat you like a member of a group. Like, oh, black people are like this, or women are like that. Those are just names and labels. It doesn't have anything to do with you, says Emerson. And customs are like the habits that people go through. Again, they repeat them over and over again. And if it's something that's customary, it's customary for lots of different people. Okay, I'm going to end this video early because I ended the last video early because I messed up, and I'll pick it up soon. Okay, cool.